Good evening, everyone. It's a real honor to be here, and thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Mitra. Normally, I'm a poet, but I submitted some creative nonfiction, and I won an award, so you're going to get to hear some of that. I wrote this personal essay on transness, desirability politics, and pretty privilege, so it's kind of exploring the intersections of that. I've only got about 500 words, so you're going to have to read the rest in the anthology, I'm afraid. This one's called I Liked the Way the World Looked at Me When I Was in the Closet. I don't think many people would recognize me if they met the girl I was 3 years back. In fact, one of my current friends didn't. The first time we had a proper conversation was in the final year of university, at a student paper meeting for the music section. As the editor wrapped up and the meeting disbanded, I made eye contact with a tall girl standing nearby. She was new, incredibly gorgeous, and smiling at me. "Have you written for them before?" she said, as we descended the spiral staircase. I told her yes, mentioned the articles I'd written, the free gigs I'd gone to, the moderately famous musicians I'd interviewed. I'd like to say I was being encouraging, but I think I was just trying to impress her. I felt like I'd met her someplace else before, recognized her clear tan skin, dimpled smile, and fluffy dark brown afro. We decided to skip the post-meeting drinks and head off, soon realizing, after a brief, awkward silence, that we were walking back home the same way. As the wind nailed our puffer jackets to our chest, I asked her for her number. We quickly became friends, and one evening, sitting in my room, faces lit with the honeyed light from my sunset lamp, we came to the realization that in 2019, we'd both lived in the worst student halls Manchester had to offer. Oak House. I showed her a picture of me back then, and her eyes widened. "Wait," she said, grabbing my phone to look closer. "I remember you." She looked back at me in disbelief, like she couldn't quite comprehend that I, with my bound chest, short hair in the awkward growing out phase, and bare face, was the same person as the girl in the picture. I remember because I was like, damn. I laughed, but it felt empty. I wish you still saw me that way, I thought. While I didn't blame my friend for not recognizing me, I was torn inside. A part of me longed for her to feel the same attraction she felt to my femme self. And another was glad because her seeing me as an entirely new person reaffirmed that I was an entirely new person. I'm trans, but now I feel very average looking. Before I put my phone away, I took one last look at the picture I showed her. I'm standing in front of Oak House's infamously ugly lime green walls. Thick black hair tumbles to my waist. My brows are thin, arched, and my full lips are painted a glossy red. I'm wearing a black miniskirt and a low-cut top. Back then, I had desperately wanted to emulate a 90s Angelina Jolie, a woman every human being on earth seemed to be attracted to. A woman I certainly was attracted to. Look at like her and you could have your pick of the bunch. So that's what I tried to do. Plucked my thick Asian brows thin. Sculpted shadows into my face to mimic her high cheekbones. But it was never really me. I was pretending I was empowered when really I was catering to the male gaze. But the idea of the male gaze gets a lot more complicated when you factor in transness and bisexuality. Thank you.